day-to-day errands, as well as monitoring, servicing, repairs of the electric vehicle is very, very important as you enjoy the ride.
That brings us to the end of Smart Money this week. Until next week, goodbye.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome. I am Martha Hamtenya. In the news headlines, mother freezes baby in ice cream tube and dumps it. Namibia urged to invest in 21st century skill for green hydrogen project. Youth Foundation embarks on a uniform donation drive. Namibia trade in agriculture on international level overlooked. And Roundup, Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the Weather. A community leader from Hakahana informal settlement discovered a frozen newborn baby placed in an ice cream tube and dumped it in a dustbin yesterday morning. The community leader made the gruesome discovery around 8 o'clock in the morning while throwing the trash in a bin and came across the melting ice cream tube.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
According to the police report, the community leader became suspicious and looked inside a melting 2-liter ice cream tub where he found a frozen infant. The incident happened along Edimba Street, where it is believed that the 32-year-old mother gave birth without her family's knowledge. The Khomas police spokesperson Sila Shipandeni told Today on One the suspect has been suicidal lately and was taken by a relative to the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare for counseling. According to Shipandeni, the suspect is currently admitted at the mental hospital under police guard.
The dustbin was on the main road, as you can see there. Green, these municipality dustbins. So what they have discovered is that it's a box of ice cream, and in that box of ice cream, there was what believed to be a baby, of course, until it was confirmed that it's indeed a newborn baby that was discovered in that particular ice cream box in the dustbin, just alongside the road, because dustbins have to be on the road for them to be collected. Now, when he discovered that, then that's when he called me around 7 o'clock in the morning. So that was yesterday, of course. But then the officers have to come here around 8 o'clock, and the incident was confirmed to be a baby girl that was dumped, or that was put in an ice cream box. And that ice cream box, believe me, it's quite strange that one would want to believe that it was in the fridge, because it was still cold and the baby is believed to be frozen. So it's quite strange that human beings are capable of doing this. And then as we speak, that particular person is in the hands of the police. So we also have to confirm here that it's somebody who visited offices of authority, that is the Office of Gender, under the Ministry of Safety and Security. Of course, our office is the Gender-Based Violence Unit. And then this particular person was brought by a certain cousin because she apparently made some statement that she wanted to commit suicide as a result of whatever situation that she was going through. She was assisted necessarily. She was taken to certain offices that she can get help as a result of that suicidal thoughts. But it did not help. This happens. So she delivered and then the baby was thrown away, or she dumped the baby. And then, of course, the baby is dead. Like I said, it was put in the fridge, this particular child, in the ice cream box on top of that, and it was in the fridge.
Zachary Itodo, initiator for the No to Gender-Based Death and Violence, advised family members to take care of each other, especially when they hear people threatening to take their own lives. Itodo further says the suicide cases are on an increase, but stated that many can be prevented when the right people intervene and come to the aid of those wanting to commit suicide.
It's not enough reason for you to kill your baby, because what this woman did is really disheartening. Find a solution. Even if the father of the child is refusing, there are always ways to help out. There are always solutions to these problems. So instead of killing your child or dumping the child, go to the hospital, speak to the social workers. And another problem we're having right now is the issue of suicide. Family members are not helping this issue of suicide, because you find your family members complaining, telling you they want to commit suicide, but you're keeping quiet, you're not reporting. I'm encouraging family members, colleagues, friends, once you notice or see the signs of suicide, or your family members or anybody is telling you about suicide, immediately report. Bring it to the notice of either the police or the social workers so that this person can be helped. The rate of suicide these days is becoming worrisome.
A relative, Helene Huepo, who lived with the suspect for 11 years, told Today on One that she did not know that the suspect was expecting. Huepo added that the suspect has 4 children, and this news came as a shock to the family.
So okuzapo potuor fapenya nongo vya divegero konsama de kuchai kwa romgero kashinda kucha mandoro membiri to muhangi kwa kabaki kwa iskrima keno kano kashona makona kono ne ningi ke ningwa nashike ashimoni wangane ngi kakuchai oye shidi kandina nicha no matumburo shashi ayo shate apontivo eto na ikazari te shite rangeno taningo ngari giringanyoka.
Mpaka tuyadha otuli pamwe nangoe mompombo ya mainyanyudho ote ea mukuro okuzangenea toterwe mombo omaovigari hupeigiari omrunga radio ogwakala no kukundaneka okunyanyudha no kuyakuroshiwana omrunga radio yotango monamibia.
There are data deals. And then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial star 130 star 780 hash and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding VAT. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
The Namibian government has been urged to invest in the 21st century skills so that young people can benefit from the job creation by the Green Hydrogen Project. This is according to Jane Olwalk, the director of the Southern African Science Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management, who delivered her remarks at the recently concluded Green Hydrogen Conference.
While speaking at the recently concluded Green Hydrogen Conference, Jane Olwalk commented on the government's pledge that the highly skilled and capital-intensive industry will result in the development of thousands of jobs for local Namibians. Government says that the 60 billion Namibian dollars or $9.4 billion US Green Hydrogen project will employ 18,000 people, but given the highly specialized and capital-intensive industry which is required to produce the envisaged 300,000 tons of green hydrogen annual quota, local job security could be constrained due to the country's skills gap. The director of SASCAL underlined the new skills that will be essential for the growth of the green energy industry during her presentation on the role of research and human capital development in Namibia's green hydrogen industry.
So what are those skills that the 21st century young scientist or engineer wants? We all already know what we do, but these have been highlighted in a paper that I read last night and looks at basic integrated science process skills. How do you process science? How do you understand science? Digital age literacy is extremely important. Scientific literacy, technology literacy, which talks about how does technology work, and of course information, media, and social skills. Examples of that could be data science and analytics, remote sensing and GIS, programming, mathematical modeling, and engineering. Content is no longer the issue because content exists everywhere. You can Google all the lectures that they give you, but you need to know how do you process this data? How do you transfer the data into images that government departments can look and see the trend in change on climate and water resources? The lecturer also is no longer the content owner, but an instructor.
In order to attract local talent and expertise to the green hydrogen industry, the government will need to promote the importance of technical and vocational education and training as a career path for students. Muvatera Njothe Siririka, the Chief Executive Officer of the Namibia Training Authority, stated during the conference that the NTA is currently working on introducing diploma courses at some of the country's TVET institutions in order to meet the skills demand of the sector and the economy.
Now, of course, the possible areas of application she has touched on. The area of transportation, the chemical and industrial area, the power plants, the stationary power plants, and the integrated hybrid stations. And of course, some of those, we may not be in that position ourselves as a smaller economy, but from the institutes that he has indicated earlier on, those are some of the areas that we need to look into. The current skills that we have in the industry, they are not necessarily going to be displaced. We are going to upskill them, some of them. The others, depending on your economic level, you will have to introduce more and better skills levels. Now, that in itself, we are saying from the TVET sector, we are saying, yes, we do have the skilled persons. Of course, we know we are not meeting the demands of the economy at the point in time, but the current people that we have in industry, we can up those skills, we can better them, and we are upping them by now, currently, working on introducing diploma courses at some of our TVET institutions. We are in discussions with our colleagues worldwide. Of course, specifically the UK, we've looked at South African setup, and we are looking at how we can actually up the skills of some of our current courses and even move into the petrochemical industry that we are not already playing in and see how best we can position ourselves as an economy and as a people.
To develop a green hydrogen-ready workforce, the Namibian Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship Program, in collaboration with the German government, was established early this year. The scholarship has been designed to mainly target two groups. The first group are unemployed Namibian graduates, and the second are those interested in pursuing vocational education and training in the field of green hydrogen.
Free shopping is back at Spar, where we're putting smiles on the faces of thousands of Spar Rewards customers when they win their shopping for free. Just shop any participating product, swipe your Spar Rewards card, and go big with Nivea Roll-On Deodorant for only $19.99 and Spar 2-ply toilet rolls, 9s for just $44.99. Win your shopping instantly, only at Spar.
Choose boldness and celebrate the skin you're in with Nivea Rich Nourishing. Our triple layered care of deep moisture serum, natural almond oil, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Choose to wear your skin with pride with Nivea Rich Nourishing.
Prevent cramps with Fabifarm's new MVA Cramp Stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people, and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, FabuFarm's MVA Cram Stock contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps, with a full month's supply of capsules. It's FabuFarm's new MVA Cram Stock, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
The Rob Youth Foundation is embarking on a nationwide school uniform donation to needy and vulnerable learners. The foundation, which was established in 2019, tackles social challenges faced by the Namibian youth and empowers the youth with ideas for economic development to improve their living standards.
The founder of Rob Foundation, Robert Maseka, indicated that this initiative seeks to assist those in need while prioritizing those with disabilities.
From next week, we will be distributing the items to. We're starting with the disability schools or learners with special needs. Once we're done, then we'll then tackle all the other learners. So we're also running a uniform donation drive, as you can see here. We've managed to source some uniform that we would like to distribute to schools like in Kunene regions, in Zambezi regions, and also in Valfes, where some of the family members lost their houses due to fire and stuff. So we'd like to see how we can assist. Last Friday we distributed 140 hampers to Darkbreak Primary School, and during the International Youth Day, which was celebrated, which was commemorated in Zambezi regions, our team in Zambezi region distributed to 3 schools, 18 hampers to 3 schools in Zambezi region as part of the commemoration of International Youth Day.
Maseka further stated, while they already have the school uniforms, they will need assistance from the community as their target market is vast, adding that a lot still needs to be done to uplift the lives of those in need.
We're covering all the 14 regions of Namibia. Some regions have more than 5 schools that we are covering. So, but with just the disability ones, we covering like 3,500 learners. So that is the for the donation drive that we're going to start next week. With the school uniform, we still need to get statistic on how many learners need, but we're still busy collecting as much as we can. But we will then work closely with the Ministry of Education, that it's also helping us in terms of statistic on the needy learners in all the 14 regions. We'll definitely cover the remote areas first, because it's where most of these learners are without uniforms and stuff like that. Also, what we want is we calling upon the communities that really want to be part of the uniform drive to really come on board. It's for a good cause. There's a lot of kids that really don't have uniforms that we've seen. We've got a lot of requests from different regions coming to our office trying to request for uniforms. So that's the reason we decided, okay, we'll try to do our best to really collect some uniform that we can be able to distribute to the needy learners. But it's not enough, so we need more, those people that really can be able to come on board in terms of trying to assist.
The foundation, with the help of its partners, seeks to make a difference and address the social challenges faced by the society.
There are different types of decisions, such as rational, habitual, impulsive, and coin tossing.
Let's get started.
The consumption of poultry containing food poisoning organisms such as salmonella, but the danger to health can be dramatically reduced.
What about other organisms in the animal kingdom? Well, some animals are ectothermic.
Welcome to Lesson 5 for Grade 10 and 11 Mathematics.
Methodologies and approaches in order to produce relevant and suitable results.
The United Nations Development Programme Country Representative Alka Batia highlighted the importance of Namibia trading in agriculture on an international market, stating that the potential for agriculture to stabilize the economy is undervalued. Various stakeholders attending the awareness campaign by the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement expressed that Namibia can feed itself, but it's unprepared for the international trade market.
UNDP country representative Alka Batia said that agriculture does not get proper recognition in many of the forums and panel discussions by business entities, and even when recognized, agriculture is not spoken of enough for youth and women to see the empowerment and growth possibilities that come with growing locally.
You know, we tend to overlook agriculture because we say it is like, oh, Namibia is not good in agriculture, we are one of the driest countries. But even within a dry country, you know, you can work wonders. In fact, in Namibia itself, you have examples of these farms which are working and can produce. At least we can produce first and foremost to feed ourselves, right? We are talking about that resilience, that inclusive growth, that what creating opportunities. You have youth, we have a huge youth demographic here in the country. How are we utilizing that? Right? How do we actually leverage that? So as I said, even I would not like to, and I don't want to repeat because a lot has been said and a lot will be said. But the fact is, and this is analysis, let's prove these analysis and estimates right. And we have it in us. An increase of at least 4.3% of GDP to come through trade. And this is absolutely essential as the country is trying to come out of all of these issues with regard to the pandemic, with regard to the rising this food, fuel and energy crisis. So what is it that we can actually do? And I think today this awareness campaign, it's not just to spell out AFTA to you or to just 1, 2, 3, 4 other benefits, but how do we do it? And I don't think any single agency, organization has that intelligence to do that, or the capacity. And this is where we need everybody to come together. You know, everybody has a unique thing to offer, an opportunity to be leveraged. So, and I think the biggest advantage we have in Namibia is people may think it's a disadvantage being small. But no, I don't think smallness is a disadvantage. Here it can be turned into a great strength. Leverage our geographical location, the excellent logistics that we have in Namibia. We can become that conduit into all of the landlocked countries of Africa. We have an excellent port at Walvis Bay. So much capacity, it's really good, Honorable Minister, as you probably know, so and congratulations actually to the government for coming up with such a world-class facility. But how are we utilizing it? Because it is still not operating at capacity. What is it more that we can do? How can we bring about, take Namibia from the lower stages of production to greater value addition? Those are the areas where we need to be focusing on.
Namibia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chief Executive Officer Charity Muya, added that Namibia needs to wake up and get involved in international trade opportunities as external bodies may capitalize on existing opportunities, leaving Namibia behind and dependent on external markets for the next 30 years. Muya adds that local produce should be manufactured with pride and honesty while meeting standards for quality and export.
We want to leave these people out forever. The Nigerians will come, the Ghanaians will come. I'm talking about the SMEs in Ghana, SMEs in Nigeria. They will come in the space. And we will be here thinking that, no, our foreigners have come to take our space. In this time, Africa cannot be speaking about foreigners. We can't be speaking about foreigners in this state in Africa. Because every African here, we are opening up all these borders to ensure that there's free movement of goods and people. We can trade free. We're talking about tariffs. It's a reduction of tariffs. I mean, in fact, almost elimination of tariffs and trade tariffs. That is what it entails. But we have to be very much at the forefront of information and understand, because no matter how these campaigns will actually happen, we'll launch this campaign. If you could just be one of those things that you just look at and say, oh, okay, it's MIT, it's NCCI, that's who taking whatever, you'll be left behind. Because with many, I'm not going to be going door to door. It's not like the politicians that go door to door, to campaign. This is an information session where we say, please, here's the information. We're sharing to everybody else there. What you don't understand, please come and we talk. And that's why the role of the private sector is very important. When we engage with government and their understanding, it's us to reveal to our stakeholders, all our businesses, all our governments, what are the bottlenecks that are really hampering us. And the trading environment must be made conducive for the business to actually operate. And I think Namibia is actually well on track in doing that. It's really the implementation that we have to be really paying attention to. Because we know very well, sometimes there are very good policies, but it's implementation. And we need to hold people accountable when they do not live up to what their responsibilities.
Muya stated that it is a shame that the youth are uninformed about the trade forums and measures to engage in both local and international trade, and that Namibians need to invest in each other's initiatives in order to empower international trade possibilities. The awareness campaign focused on informing and educating the business market on import and export procedures, as well as the opportunities available to local entrepreneurs and small to medium enterprises. Participating campaign members alluded that food availability should be prioritized, as it is the sector that sustains the livelihood of the nation.
Choose boldness and celebrate the skin you're in with Nivea Rich Nourishing. Our triple layered care of deep moisture serum, natural almond oil, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Choose to wear your skin with pride with Nivea Rich Nourishing.
Win free airtime with Learn on One. Tell us what's your favorite subject on Learn on One and win $50 airtime. SMS your answer, name, age, and the town you live in to 555. Standard T's and C's and SMS rates apply. Learn on One. Invite learning in.
In other leading stories, the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Windhoek celebrated 77 years of independence on 17 August 2022. The celebration was held under the theme Recover Fast, Rise Stronger, and marked by the hoisting of the Indonesian national flag. The ceremony was attended by over 50 people, including officials and staff of the mission with their families. Ambassador Wenyu Prenyu led proceedings as the flag hoisting ceremony was followed by an open house at the ambassador's residence in Windhoek, where the cone-shaped yellow rice cutting ceremony was held to reflect and show gratitude for the blessings of the independence and progress made by Indonesia. In the run-up to the celebration, the embassy organized sports activities and games for the Indonesian community in Namibia.
and responsible farming practices must be part of the answer to the challenge of sustainability. But is science moving quickly enough to fulfill the needs of humanity?
The main reason why it's at this height is for the harvester comfort. So right now in California, we have a labor shortage. There is not as many people who want to do the work of harvesting strawberries. It's really hard.
I think one of the differences between being an indoor farmer and an outdoor farmer, in a greenhouse in particular, we try and take advantage of the best of both worlds.
I would say, either someone's got a family characteristic that they just say, you know what? It's a female that says, I don't want my dad's nose.
Yeah, I could see that. Right. Okay, and yeah, it's pretty obvious, and we'll get you back there and get it all fixed for you, okay?
Free shopping is back at Spar, where we're putting smiles on the faces of thousands of Spar Rewards customers when they win their shopping for free. Just shop any participating product, swipe your Spar Rewards card, and go big with Nivea Roll-On Deodorant for only $19.99 and Spar 2-ply toilet rolls, 9s for just $44.99. Win your shopping instantly, only at Spar.
Up next is Joseph Shufeni with Business on One.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. The Namibia Airports Company, NEC, launched the Aviation and Connectivity Forum that is expected to bring together stakeholders to discuss the role of the industry and how the aviation sector contributes towards economic recovery. The forum is set to take place on the 16th to the 18th of November this year.
The Minister of Works and Transport, John Mutora, who officially launched the forum, stated that government views the event as important as it will in the end support the broader economic recovery from the effects of the global pandemic, adding that air transport is a key enabler for the country.
Air transport has got a place in this country. Don't be frightened by the small population that we have. We say we are a logistic hub, others can come here through. And also, we are very fortunate that we have a long coast where other countries that do not have access to the sea, for example, in terms of utilizing the maritime transport, can work together for the benefit of SADC, for the benefit of Africa and beyond.
Tim Harris, a partner at Consulum, says there are opportunities for Namibia to connect to European cities, which will require a collaborative approach, data and relationships with airlines.
We think there's opportunities for Namibia to connect to London. That's 32,000 passengers already traveling between London and Namibia. That's definitely enough to support a new flight. And what we've experienced in Cape Town is every time you launch a new flight, you get a market stimulation, an increase in passenger numbers of anywhere between 25 and 50%. So you can see that number increasing, provided you're able to give a compelling pitch to one of the UK carriers that could connect you. We think there's a similar opportunity in Paris. We think, notwithstanding your service that you already have to Germany, the extraordinary service on Eurolines Discovered, there's opportunity from the other side of Germany, to the south of Munich. We also think, where I'm from, Durban, the city I grew up in, is a city that could grow into non-stop service to Windhoek, and you should be speaking to one of the South African carriers about that. So we see opportunity all over the globe for Namibia in the extreme short term. What it's going to require is that collaborative approach, where the airlines speak with one person potentially at the forum or responsible for route development, and that person represents the views of all of your institutions and the private sector and can show the carrier the long-term growth story of Windhoek and Namibia. That's what really convinces them of the planet. Along with that, data, taking that story and unpacking it into the actual business case and the money the carrier will make connecting to Bulletin. And then number 3, having those deep relationships with the airlines that you can start that conversation and get them over the line and launch these new services that can help your growth ambitions, not in the long or medium term, but we think in the extreme short term. And this is the kind of timeline that we would be talking about with you if we were asked. Between now and the forum in November, we think that there's a potential to establish a small route development project under the auspices of the Route Development Working Group that can start running the data, start reaching out to the carriers, and then I would suggest attend World Routes in October in Las Vegas. This is the jamboree of route development globally. It's where all the destinations meet with all of the carriers, and I think Namibia can be making a really strong business case to those target carriers already in October.
The Namibia Airports Company Board Chairperson Liaki Hangala noted that a new aviation vision and program must put Namibia at the forefront of connecting people and goods from region to region and country to continents, adding that for an aviation sector to be sustainable, it must be technologically advanced in terms of equipment, provide efficient service, safe and reliable.
The forum will also be about remitting any past mistakes, learning from others, and thinking outside the box as we map out a new future for aviation and the related sectors of the economy. At the same time, we saw it fit to integrate a broader perspective from our neighbors, particularly in SADC, and from our other African friends. As a result of this forum, we hope to integrate the sector more strongly into the national transport policy, the national development plans, including Vision 2030. Over the years, Namibia's rich cultural and national resources have attracted tourists from all over the world. Indeed, the tourism industry is one of the pillars of the country's economy and it contributes significantly to the GDP and to the inflow of foreign currency, as well as to foreign direct investment.
The clock has struck for your daily business and financial news update. Brought to you by The Brief.
The government has granted Reconnaissance Energy Africa a 3-year extension on its environmental clearance certificate. The certificate, which is issued by the Office of the Environmental Commissioner in the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, covers the entire PEL 73 permit in northeast Namibia that stretches 25,000 square kilometers. The certificate authorizes Recon Africa to continue drilling stratigraphic test wells to depths approved by the Ministry of Mines and Energy and National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia NAMCOR, as well as completing a sidetrack of the company's first well in the Kavango Basin. The extended certificate, which is valid from the 26th of August 2022 until the 26th of August 2025, was approved on the 11th of August 2022. Recon Africa Chief Executive Officer Scott Evans said the extension of the environmental clearance certificate was underpinned by extensive on-the-ground and research-based data gathering by their technical teams working in combination with third-party technical partners. Further noting that the extension demonstrates how Recon Africa is working collaboratively with their interested and impacted stakeholders in Namibia, including local and national government entities and representatives, as well as with the traditional authorities, as Recon Africa pursues the commercial development of the Kavango Basin. The extension enables the company to plan and execute its current stratigraphic drilling and sidetrack programs. The Bank of Namibia, BON, is expected to increase interest rates by another 100 basis points before the end of the year, analysts have said. This is after the Apex Bank's Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, resolved to increase the repo rate by 75 basis points to 5.50% from 4.75 at its bi-monthly meeting on the 15th and 16th of August 2022. BON Deputy Governor Epson Wanguta said on Wednesday the decision was taken with due consideration of the persistent inflationary pressures and is deemed appropriate to safeguard the one-to-one link between the Namibian dollar and the South African rand while meeting the country's international financial obligations. Moreover, he adds that the adopted monetary policy stance is necessary to narrow the current negative real policy interest rate. He said the policy stance was consistent with that taken by central banks around the globe and in the region, with policymakers acting with a resolve to slow and eventually reverse the current acceleration in inflation. Simone Storm economist Theo Klein said the hike was in line with expectations and follows a similar move by the South African Reserve Bank, which also hiked its repo rate by 75 basis points in July 2022. He said, looking at the forward rate agreement curve in South Africa, which summarizes market participants' expectations of short-term interest rates, they expect another 100 basis points hike before the end of the year if it materializes in South Africa.
This was your daily Namibian business and financial news update. For in-depth stories, read more on thebrief.com.na now.
That is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Prevent cramps with Fabifarm's new MVA cramp stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, Fabifarm's MVA Cramp Stop contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps with a full month supply of capsules. It's Fabifarm's new MVA Cramp Stop, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
There are data deals. And then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial *130*780# and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only $185 Namibian excluding that. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
Now a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The number of charcoal producers in Namibia has tripled in the last 8 years as local farmers tend to the charcoal production for an income. The Ministry of Industrialization and Trade says it has taken note of the growing number of producers in the emerging charcoal industry and has constructed processing factories in the country in efforts to support value addition before exporting the charcoal. Davidson said food should be priority and not charcoal. Shopala said charcoal workers are paid peanuts. Changelao said producing charcoal might not be good for Namibia. Ulengo said factories for processing raw materials are needed. Dantago said this is job creation through ozone pollution. That's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage on our stories on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
Choose boldness and celebrate the skin you're in with Nivea Rich Nourishing. Our triple layered care of deep moisture serum, natural almond oil, and vitamin E enriches your skin for 48 hours. It's time to show off your best skin. Choose to wear your skin with pride with Nivea Rich Nourishing.
Castro Ulumbu is up next with a sports update.
Good evening and welcome to Sports on One. I'm your host Castro Ulumbu. The annual Navahap Gold Mine Half Marathon Challenge will return this year after a 2-year absence brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. This time with an improved sponsorship of 120,000 Namibia dollars from the main sponsor, Navahap Gold Mine. Announcing the return of the Road Run Challenge on Tuesday this week, the Public Relations Officer at Navahap Gold, McLean Kasale, pledged their full support towards the event with an amount of 120,000 Namibia dollars. Kasale added that they aim to reach more participants during the coming editions.
We have done it 7 times before, but because of COVID, we could not continue doing it. But we just want to say we are fully committed to this race. And usually we always committed an amount way below 100,000. But this year, because we want a great comeback and we want to keep our elite athletes, the locals as well, we have amplified the amount to the sponsorship of 120,000 Namibian dollars, which will see our elites getting good prices and should attract most of our racers from all over the country. So we are committed to this race, and we want to keep on improving this race annually to ensure that this race continues and becomes better every year that comes. Next year we might even go a little bit higher, so because we want to attract even more people that would come. We may also planning to include the 10 kilometer run also, because this year we are only focusing on the 5 kilometer fun run and the half marathon, which is the 21.1. But next year we also want to include the 10 kilometer. The idea is that just to have everyone covered on the marathon. So the commitment from Navahap, it's still ongoing. We believe that there will be no pandemic, hopefully very soon, so that we can continue having this race for quite some time.
The Irongo Regional Sport Officer, who is also the organizer of the race, Berthold Karumendu, extended appreciation towards the partners who came on board in an effort of assisting in hosting the event. Karumendu also highlighted that the event plays a role in the development of athletes in the country.
We know COVID-19 had a big impact for our local races, the one of Navahap. Not local races, national races, and international races. Even if I'm speaking, one of the international half marathon, world half marathon, has been postponed for 2 years. The impact of COVID have caused a lot of events not to take place for the previous 2 years in 2020 and 2021. 6 and 7 edition was impacted by the COVID. It's an appreciation and acknowledgement of Navahap Gold Mine who come on board to inject a sponsorship of 120,000. And we also acknowledge NAMED Medical Fund, who inject 35,000 plus also. And also the Town Council, who inject 6,000 from the Town Council. In the absence of FNB, we inject 15,000. And of course, a long-lasting official drink sponsor from Coca-Cola Namibia Brewery, Namibia Brewery Company. Robertson, we came along with Coca-Cola as a drink sponsor during the time when I was an athlete. So keep up the good work until now. And it always brings a difference, especially when the athletes are finishing, to have a Coke for refreshment and energy. It's a token of appreciation. And the main stakeholders on behalf of the ministry. This is also another way of mass participation and grassroots development in terms of Karibeb, Erongo region, and Namibia at large, because we invite all athletes in our regions. 14 regions are invited, whether you are an active athlete or whether you are non-active athlete. We are not leaving anyone behind. From the masters, 50 plus, from the veterans, 40 to 49, the junior, 16 to 19, and the primary schools, and those who cannot do the 21 case, they will do the 5-kilometer fun run.
The 8th edition of the Navagap Gold Mine Half Marathon is set to take place on the 17th of September. Race information can be accessed at all regional offices in the country. Thank you for watching. Catch us again tomorrow for more updates on Sports on One.
Thank you so much, Castro. Time now for the weather forecast.
We begin this forecast with a warning from the Namibia Meteorological Service. Very cold conditions are expected in the south, central and eastern regions, with frost in low-lying areas tomorrow, so please take the necessary precautions. Frost is expected in the south, central and eastern regions. Otherwise, partly cloudy and very cold to cold, but sunny and warm to hot in the north. It will become windy over the interior by noon. The coast will be partly cloudy and mild to warm, and wind will be moderate northeasterly to fresh easterly.
That's all we have for you. Join us again tomorrow, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages. Until next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
My name is Ban Ki-moon. I am Secretary General of the United Nations. I was born in Korea. I was 6 years old when the Korean War started. We had to run from our homes to the mountainside. We could see my village burning. The United Nations saved my family and my country. In my time as a Secretary General, I have been moved by the horrors of humanity, and I have been inspired by his heroes. I have wept at the memorials for victims in Auschwitz, Srebrenica, and Rwanda. I have dealt with tragedies that have gone on for decades and disasters that destroyed whole societies overnight. I've also mourned too many courageous United Nations staff members who died serving the cause of peace. I believe in having a young mindset. This means standing up to injustice. I hope I will never be too old to ask leaders tough questions. I hope I will always have the energy to speak out for what is right. I think that keeps us young.
We never thought that this would actually happen in our country, especially for the youth. Everyone wants to play soccer now because of the obsolete.
Charmingly hosted in Olukonda, one will find the Nakambale Museum. The former Finnish station that once housed missionary Martti Rautanen, who this museum is named after. This unique name stems from Rautanen's nickname given to him by the locals as he simply loved wearing hats. Hence the name's meaning, one who wears hats. The Finnish missionary was renowned for his Bible translations to Oshindonga, which first became available in 1924. The desire to translate the Bible stemmed from Rautanen's desire to serve and help the people whom he ministered to, as they would comprehend the Bible in their own language much better. The museum displays Rautanen's paper collecting method used during the process of translating the Bible to Oshindonga. Among other things, it also includes instruments, household items, and furniture used by the missionaries during that period.